All right, in this video, we're going to continue on with our lobby system. So let's go ahead and launch it and see what we got so far. Well, first of all, we have an issue with players not leaving lobbies and not being destroyed. So we definitely have to fix that. And we can't actually hit the leave lobby button. So I want to fix those things first. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open the server project and let's take a survey of what we have here on the systems. So we have the game lobby system, and so far we don't have anything implemented. So we definitely need a way to leave and destroy the lobby. I'm interested. Well, yes. Okay. Those are going to be the two big things that we want to implement right now. So let's do leave lobby first. So for leave lobby, we're simply going to say return lobby dot remove player, which we don't have a remove player yet. So let's go ahead and just type in remove player, and then we're going to pass in our, well, we can either pass in our context or we can pass in our system. So if we open up the game lobby, let's see how we do it with add player and add player internal. We pass in the context, and we don't have any remove code yet. I think I'm going to keep the API consistent, and we're going to pass in the context into the lobby remove player. So let's go ahead and generate this method. Just hit Alt Enter Enter, and we now have remove player, and we'll just call this player. And we'll move this guy up a little bit. I don't know if I want add player to be right next to add player internal, because that kind of changes my common thing where I like my private members to be on the bottom, my private methods rather to be on the bottom. Though they're so related, I think I'll leave it like this. So the remove player is going to do the same thing, but it's going to do some validation beforehand. So we do need to make sure that we're actually, you know, in the lobby to begin with. Well, actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to take in a game lobby system here. Game lobby system. That's kind of how we're representing the concept of a player in a lobby. So game lobby system, leave lobby, will just return this. And then on remove player, we're going to return fiber in queue deferred, and we're going to pass it into a, well, let's see here. We're just going to pass in a remove player internal player. And so the reason we're doing that is so that we can reuse the remove player internal when we're on the same fiber. So our public API doesn't expect us to be on the same fiber, but our private API does. So we'll do a private deferred remove player internal that'll take in a game lobby system player. And I'm going to do a couple checks. I'm going to say if player.lobby, which I don't believe is actually a public field. No, it's not. I want to be able to check, I want to be able to, within the game lobby system, get access to this lobby field. So I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate that as a property with a get and private set. And so just go ahead and change that. And then I'm going to say, if player lobby does not equal this, then throw new RPC exception. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. Throw RPC exception, you cannot remove a player that's not in the lobby. Okay, so what other checks do we have to do for remove player internal? I actually don't want to return a deferred here. I just want to return a void because this will be a synchronous method. And let's see. We want to go ahead and, now that we know that we're in the lobby, we want to go ahead and no longer have an event on the player that says when the player disconnects, go ahead and remove him from the lobby. So we want to get rid of that too. But we never set up that event to begin with. So I think we can go ahead and set that event up. So to set that event up, we're going to go into the add player internal. And we're going to do that at some point here. Let's see. We're going to first want to make sure that he's connected. So in the add player internal, I want to say if player is connected, or if not player is connected, throw new RPC exception, player disconnected while joining the lobby. And then I'll say player dot disconnected plus equals player disconnected. I actually want to do this this event here in the other order, I believe. So I want to do it like this, but I want to do it down here. I want to do it after we've gotten the system. So after we get the system, then we do a player disconnected. But I'm going to say player disconnected goes into player disconnected system. So we're going to capture that system. Well, we can't do that because then we can't remove the handler. So we do actually have to say player disconnected. Remember, the only way to remove an event handler is to have a method that we can statically reference. So we won't be able to do that within a closure. So we'll do, I believe that's the order that we did it in the main lobby service. I want to verify that real fast. So let's jump down here. Let's go full screen too so we get some more screen space. And, okay, so we checked to see if it was connected, and then we did the disconnect handler. So the other way around. And again, I want to do that up here, I think. There we go. That's the final code for now, until something else changes. So player disconnected is going to go ahead and we'll create a method for player disconnected. And I'm going to take this disconnected and I'm going to move it down to the bottom here. And the player disconnected will take in a client context. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say remove player and remove player cast to master player master context. Or whoops, we actually just have to get the system, don't we? So we have to say .systems.get of game lobby system. So we'll remove player, and we'll remove player internal. Remember to do that because, well, actually, we have to remove player. Not remove player internal. We have to be sure that we're on the right fiber. Because if we look at the main lobby system, we did the same thing here. Client disconnected, we did remove player, which then enqueued the fiber operation. So we'll do that here. We'll say remove player, which will enqueue up remove player internal. And remove player internal, the first thing it's going to do is say player context disconnected minus equals player disconnected. And we have that going now. Then I want to say, I want to remove him from the players. So I want to say players.remove, and we're going to remove it. Don't we have 2 dictionaries? No, we don't. So players.remove, and we're just going to straight up remove the player. Then after remove the player, I'm going to say if players.count equals 0, then I'm going to say destroy internal, and then return. Now destroy internal is going to be the internal method that will completely destroy the lobby. And then I'm going to say proxy.onPlayerLeft, passing in player.context.userdetails.id. Or I think I can also access it through... No, I can't. So player context user details ID is how we're going to notify all the users that the player left. Then I'm going to check to see if player equals owner. Then we're going to set the owner to our players first. So set owner to players.first. So if the owner leaves, then we're going to give ownership to another player. So that's remove player internal. I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and do destroy internal. Let's stub out destroy and destroy internal. Or how about just, well, yeah, let's do both. So we'll have a public deferred destroy that takes in a game lobby system player, which is the player that initiated the destroy, or null, I suppose, if it was a system destroy. And then we'll have a public void destroy internal. And the destroy is going to be really straightforward. The destroy is simply going to say return fiber.enqueue deferred. And then we'll say, if player does not equal owner, then throw new RPC exception, and say, or we can just return, if you don't want to throw an exception, we can return deferred fail. Only owners can destroy the lobby. Also, I'll do a check. If player does not equal null, and player does not equal owner. So that'll allow us to do some fun stuff. That'll allow us to destroy it without a player. And then we will say destroy internal, and then we will say or simply destroy internal, and then return deferred.success. And that'll make that code work. We also at some point have to ensure that we're active, but we'll add that later. I'm going to do that here. I'm going to say to do ensure lobby is active. So yeah, that's our destroy. So yeah, we now should be able to leave the lobby by either pressing the leave lobby button or simply disconnecting. So let's go ahead and test that. I'm going to exit full screen mode here, and I'll hit Control or F6 to do a build. And wait a year and a half, and it succeeded. And then I'm going to come up here, and we're going to hit Control B to build, and I'll pause the video while this happens. All right, so we have a build. Let's move that off to the side. Let's start. Now the idea should be that when a player leaves, he is just removed from the lobby. So I want to test that. So I'm going to log into admin here and Nelson over there. I'm going to create a lobby as admin, and then I'm going to join it as Nelson, and then I'm just going to close Nelson's window. And as you see, he gets removed from both the lobby and the main lobby. So now let's do destroy. So let's come over back here. Destroy will go into the game lobby system, and on destroy lobby, we'll simply say return lobby.destroy, passing in this to ensure that destroys can only be done if we're the current player or null. And then for our destroy internal, what we're going to do is a lot of things. We're going to remove all of our players. So for each var player in players, we're going to say player context dot disconnected minus equals player disconnected. We want to clean up that event. Always be sure to clean up your events, otherwise bad things happen. And then player context systems dot destroy on game lobby system. And then we say owner equals null, is active, or status equals what's status again? Lobby status. Dot inactive, or how about destroyed? I'm going to add that enum member by hitting Alt enter, and now we have destroyed, and this is flagged, so we want to do destroyed equals 4, and then come back here, and then after that we want to invoke a event handler that we were destroyed. We currently don't have any way to signal back into our main lobby service that the lobby was destroyed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up to the top and add that event. So I'm going to add the event probably right here and say public event action of game lobby destroyed. So that'll be our awesome event handler. Or we already have that. Public event destroyed. Derp. So now that we have that, let's scroll back down to our destroy internal, and we're going to say destroy internal and then invoke and then this. And that should tell the main lobby system that we've been destroyed. Let's make sure that we actually hooked into that event. So let's find out where we create a lobby. We create a lobby right here, and we do a lobby destroyed, and the lobby destroyed does notify everyone that the lobby was destroyed. So I should be able to hit play. Whoops, I probably have to build first. Again, too much JavaScript. I miss my just hit Control S and everything magically builds and reloads and all that fun stuff. All right, so we'll hit play, and we'll log in eventually as admin. We'll create a lobby, and then we'll destroy the lobby. And as you see, we get removed from the lobby, and the lobby is, we do not get removed from the lobby. That is a weird bug going on right there. Huh. Something might be wrong with our user interface. That's what I'm thinking. So the lobbies were destroyed. Lobbies are being created and destroyed. I wonder if I bet I'm not clearing out on the client the player list. Let's go ahead and jump back into the client and make sure that in our lobby window, whenever we do an it, we clear out all of the children of our player list. So to do that, we can simply loop over var player in player list, and then simply say destroy on player list.transform, because transform is enumerable, but the game object is not. Player dot of course it returns a untyped and unfortunately returns an untyped IEnumerable, meaning we have to type the for each loop to what we want. So let's type it to a transform, and then we'll just destroy that. Now I'm thinking that'll fix that bug. I'm thinking that's what the bug was caused by, but I'm not so sure. So create, destroy, create. No, it was not. We're having these errors. Can it remove rect transform because vertical layout group depends on it? What? Because vertical... I guess it's time for Google. Can't remove rect transform because image. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I know what's going on. Well, I didn't a second ago, but now I do. What's going on is I'm looping over the transforms, which are actually rect transforms. What I mean to do is delete the actual game object, not the individual transforms. That was a silly thing that I did. Don't try to delete transforms. That's not a good thing, as you just saw, actually. So I just gave you guys a good reason not to delete transforms. Always delete the game objects. And now that bug is gone. Sweet. But I noticed when I left the lobby, it didn't quite work. So I left the lobby and I didn't actually leave the lobby. And I can't destroy the lobby because I'm no longer the owner. Something is messed up here. I probably did something wrong. Well, I often do something wrong. If player count equals 0, remove destroy internal. Okay, it's debugging time. Debug. Make sure you are an administrator when you do this. Debug attached process. We're going to, for some reason, look at Unity for a second. I don't know why. And we're going to find Photon socket server, and we're going to give it a couple years to initialize its debugger. Oh, that was actually surprisingly fast. And then I'm going to hit play, log in, create, and then leave. And we have a player count of 0, so what is going on here? So destroy internal happens. The player is null. Oh, that's why. That's why. I never unset the disconnected handler or the game lobby system of this guy. Well, it did take away the disconnected handler, but I never destroyed his game lobby system. So I want to say player.context.systems.destroy game lobby system. So go ahead and do that, and then hit F6. And our build's successful, so now we can go ahead and relaunch. Log in as admin, create, and leave. And it's destroyed. Let's see if setting the owner works. So I'm going to back out and start a build. And I'm going to initially be... Actually, I don't know if in the client code I handled a case where the owner changed. We'll find out in a second. Really could use some automated tests here. And then I'll create a lobby. I'll create Nelson's lobby. Then I'll join it as admin. And then this guy can't destroy it because owners can't destroy the lobby. This guy can leave, which should set me as the... And it does change the name of the lobby to admin's lobby, and then I can hit destroy. Okay, it does switch the owner over, but the user interface isn't updating. That's actually a bit of a problem. I want that admin toolbar to disappear if you don't own the lobby. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to add a public text lobby title. I want to actually title the text of the lobby based off of what was passed in from the server. And then I'm going to scroll down and find our... okay, we have no callback for when the lobby is updated, so we should probably do that. The lobby should be updated from the game lobby system, where we have lobby updated plus details. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with window.update lobby details. And then I'm going to go ahead and... Whoops. What just happened there? Okay, then I'm going to hit Alt-Enter, Enter. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it up. I want to move it up probably to near the top. No, I want to move it underneath my my actions from the user interface. And what I'm going to say is if details dot changed has contains flag lobby details fields title, or name rather, then lobby title.text equals details.name. And then if details changed contains flag, lobby details fields.owner ID, then I'm going to say var is owner equals context, or we don't have context. Oh, we do, underscore context, and then authentication user ID equals details owner ID. And I'll say admin toolbar dot set active to is owner. And the final thing I have to do before I get a null reference exception, which are our favorite things as C# developers, I have to go ahead and hook up that lobby title text. So let's jump over here into lobby, open up the lobby scene, go into our lobby guy right here, find his lobby window, and drag over the text into lobby text. And then go back into loader, save this out, hit play, and then create this. And okay, what's interesting is we're not getting an on lobby details for the first time that something happened. So we need to initialize, we need to set update lobby when the lobby is created with a full update. So what we can do here is maybe in, let's see here. I think on game lobby details, I think it would make sense if on the server side, on our game lobby system, when we awoke, so when I say awake, I want to say context dot, proxy. Actually, no. What would make more sense is to do it in init. We say proxy on lobby updated lobby.details, which lobby.details, if you recall, is going to have all of those fields populated for us. And then from that point forward, we'll only get the updated lobby details. So now when I hit play, I should see the title of the lobby. Well, I don't, because there was a fatal error. How much you want to bet it's null reference exception? Maybe not. All right, I copied the stack trace to my clipboard. It looks like we are having a value cannot be null when invoking the constructor. That's a really long stack trace. When invoking the constructor, player context master on type game lobby. Where is that happening? It's happening right here. Well, obviously it's happening right there, but something's null. Something's messing up here. So I wonder if the init is being called before the lobby has been initialized, and it's not. So lobby.details should not have anything that's null in it. So what exactly is it trying to save here? It's trying to save writer write name. Name is null. Name is null because, actually that's a good point. Name is null because when we set the owner, we add the player in our game lobby. We add player internal owner, and he automatically becomes the owner. But the name of the lobby hasn't been set yet when we create the lobby system, when we initialize it. So let's go ahead and take this off, this init, and then after we set the owner, we do system.init. And when we set owner, okay, we do set just the name and the owner ID. That should work. Let's hit F6. And build is successful. Let's come back here and hit play. Come on. Create admin's lobby. Sweet. Now let's see if that admin toolbar shows and hides depending on if you're the lobby leader, because that would be really cool. So we'll go ahead and play. And we'll play here too. We'll log in as admin here, and we'll log in as Nelson there. And I still need to figure out what that bug is. I'll figure that out off screen. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a pain. Anyway, I'm going to have Nelson create a lobby, and then I'm going to join as admin. Check that out. No admin toolbar. But what happens when Nelson leaves? The admin toolbar appears and the lobby name changes. So now we have some sort of weird pseudo data binding madness going on. And just go away, developer console. I don't want you. Okay, so what happens if we destroy the lobby and Nelson's in it? So let's do that. Well, actually, the other way around. Let's leave the lobby and then join so that Nelson's the owner. And then let's destroy while admin's in it. And check it out. The lobby gets destroyed, we both get booted out, and that happened there. So, yeah. I think that's pretty exciting. The code, the user interface is looking up. I mean, it's not so pretty, but it looks like we have pretty much most of the functionality that I'm looking for. Obviously, we still can't change teams and heroes, and we can't start the game. Now, starting the game, that's going to be a big one. We're going to have to deal with a very rudimentary load balancing server farm thingy that I've been working on. But the point is we now have leaving and destroying the lobbies. So that was an adventure, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video.